The party stood before the collapsed wall in the mine, the remnants of sabotage clear in the rough-hewn stones and jagged edges. A dark passage beckoned beyond, a section of the cavern system unexplored and untouched for who knew how long. With resolve, they ventured forth, stepping into the unknown. Beyond the broken entrance lay a cavernous chamber branching into 3 distinct archways. Shadows danced along the walls as their torchlight flickered. Deciding to explore methodically, they turned to the archway on the left. Inside, they found a small shrine adorned with hand-carved artifacts, humanoid figures in prayer, all facing a central insect-like totem. The air was thick with an unsettling energy. Suddenly, a chorus of high-pitched voices echoed in their minds, speaking in unison.
You should not be here. Must warn the master.
Before they could react, a swarm of cranium rats poured out from the crevices, their eyes glowing with eerie intelligence. The swarm moved as one, a flurry of teeth and tails, launching themselves at the party. The battle was chaotic. The rats leaped from one adventurer to the next, their bites not only tearing flesh, but assaulting minds with psychic energy. Talos cried out as the swarm overwhelmed him, nearly driving him to his knees. Striza and Zaphod swung their weapons, while Zed cast protective spells to shield them. One by one, they thinned the swarm, the psychic chatter in their minds diminishing with each rat slain. As the last few rats scurried away into the darkness, the oppressive mental weight lifted. Catching his breath, Zaphod closed his eyes and reached out with his divine sense. A wave of desecration washed over him, the very ground tainted. Yet, amidst the darkness, he felt a subtle lure pulling him toward the archway on the right. Agreeing to investigate, the party collected the idols from the shrine and moved to the right passage. This archway led them to a chamber bathed in a soft, otherworldly light. At its center stood a shrine dedicated to an ancient Fey deity. An ornate chest rested atop an altar, the source of the alluring energy Asphod had sensed. As they approached, a melodic voice filled the air.
Adrift without care, on breezes unseen, from petal to leaf where colours gleam. Though not a bird in the sky we wave, with a touch so gentle, I disseminate and leave. What am I doing?
Talos pondered for a moment, before speaking confidently. Pollinating. With a soft click, the chest unlocked. Inside, they found a collection of exquisite artifacts, a brooch shaped like butterfly wings, a set of golden rings linked by an ethereal silk band, and a golden scepter crowned with a green emerald chrysalis encasing a fossilized caterpillar. Nestled among these treasures was an ancient parchment inscribed with a poem. Talos carefully unrolled the parchment and began to translate.
In lands between, her dominion unfolds. Queen Flindervalt, whose tapestry gold stirs the winds and commands the bold, her whispers in blooms, a story told. Across verdant fields her soul dances, with the sun she parleys, in the light she prances. Sovereign of summer, bearer of chances, under her gaze the wild romances. She reigns with the grace of the drifting skies. In her realm, the essence of beauty lies. Flindervalt, whose might none defies. In her court, injustice decried.
As they marveled at the artifacts, Zed reached out and touched the brooch. His eyes glazed over as a vision took hold. He saw a procession of elves from ages past, making a pilgrimage up the mountains of Trivium. They paused along forested paths, offering prayers and songs. Upon reaching the heart of the mountain, they were greeted by high priests adorned with the very artifacts the party had found. Together, they conducted a sacred ritual before descending into a circular chamber, the entrance to which was a hole leading deep into the earth. Sharing his vision, the party realized the significance of their discovery. Using their knowledge, they identified the magical properties of the items. The golden rings, when worn together, could confuse enemies and inflict additional psychic damage. The scepter was a formidable weapon that granted its wielder the ability to cast Shield of Faith without expending a spell slot or needing material components. The brooch provided powerful protection against magical spells, Regmir claimed the rings, Zaphod took up the scepter, and Striza equipped the brooch. With two paths explored, they turned their attention to the central archway. This passage led them down a wide, stretching cavern, a mix of natural stone and ancient worn steps descending into darkness. Along the sides, small green grottos housed crystallized cocoons emitting a faint glow. Curious, Zaphod touched one with his scepter, causing it to shine brighter. The others followed suit, and upon completing the sequence, they felt a warm energy wash over them, a protective blessing from the lingering Fey magic. Deeper they ventured, until they entered an eerie tunnel carved deep into the earth. The walls were pockmarked with countless small cavities. As Zaphod examined one, a skeletal hand shot out, and the party found themselves beset by undead dwarven miners. Their eyes glowed with the same unsettling purple light as the cranium rats. The fight was fierce but swift. The adventurers dispatched the undead, their resolve hardened by the trials they had already faced. Pressing onward, they finally emerged into a vast subterranean chamber. The atmosphere was thick with malevolence, an ominous aura that set their nerves on edge. Zaphod's divine sense confirmed their fears. The ground here was desecrated, the natural energies corrupted. A chilling voice echoed through the chamber.
Fools, you should not have come here. No matter, I shall subdue you for the masters and earn their favor.
From the shadows stepped a mind flayer, its tentacled visage both alien and terrifying. Beside it skulked a Nothic, its single eye glaring with malevolent intent, and behind them shuffled more undead miners. The battle commenced with a fury. The Nothic, referred to as Fido by the mind flayer, lunged at them, but was quickly cut down, enraging its master. The mind flayer retaliated with powerful psychic blasts, attempting to subdue the party's minds. Waves of mental energy crashed over them, threatening to overwhelm their senses. Regmir and Zaphod charged forward, raining down a flurry of blows upon the zombies. Strieza unleashed arcane bolts from a distance, while Talos wove protective spells to shield his comrades. Zed moved with agility, striking at the undead to prevent them from flanking the party. As the tide of battle turned against him, the mind flayer faltered. Wounded and cornered, it raised a trembling hand.
Wait. Spare me, and I will tell you everything.
The adventurers exchanged wary glances, but chose to stay their blades.
Speak.
Regmir demanded, his voice edged with caution. The mind flayer's eyes flickered with a mix of fear and cunning.
I have been enslaved by the Council, the Society of the Sacred Seal. They forced me to...
His words were cut off abruptly. In a horrifying instant, his head exploded, sending shards of bone and grey matter scattering across the chamber. The party recoiled in shock, realizing that some failsafe had been triggered to prevent him from revealing more. Silence settled over them, heavy with unanswered questions. The only sound was the distant drip of water echoing through the cavern. Whatever the mind flayer had been about to disclose died with him, leaving the adventurers with more mysteries than before. With the enemy defeated but the truth still out of reach, the party stood amidst the remnants of battle, determination steeling their resolve. They knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger, but they were united in purpose. The central chamber beneath the ground beckoned,